Hey everybody, it's Silver Seeker, and today we're going to be talking about stacking heavy silver bars. For example, these kilograms that we have in front of us. As you can see, we have a Johnson Matthey 1 kilogram silver bar. I've used this in other videos. You've probably recognized this one. We also have a Reardon Metals kilogram silver bar. I like that bar. We also have a RMC silver bar. Now, you know, this company went out a couple of years ago. I think they filed for bankruptcy. But I really like having these silver bars. And what we're going to do, like I said, is we're going to talk about the good and the bad of stacking heavy silver bars over stacking something smaller like 1 ounce rounds. Also, in this video, we'll probably call up a coin shop or two and just ask them a couple of questions to get a little bit more info as to a point that I'm going to make in this video very, very soon. But before we do that, guys, do me a favor. Don't forget to go down below and make sure you are subscribed if you haven't done so yet. I really appreciate it. Also, don't forget to hit that like button because it helps YouTube recommend this video to others. All right, let's get started. All right, guys, so as you can see, like I said, we have 3 kilogram silver bars in front of us. We really just need to look at this one for the moment. And I want to look at the size and the amount of space that these kind of bars take up. So the reason I got kilos out instead of just getting 100 ounce out is because then I would have to deal with 101 ounce rounds, and I just don't want to do that. The kilogram works just fine. But let's get rid of 2 ounces. So we are now left with 30 ounces, and we'll put it on this side so you can see we have 5 ounces of rounds there. So 5, 10, 15, 25, and 30. As you can see, these 30 rounds have roughly the same length and roughly the same height as our kilogram all by itself because of the least, it takes up less space. And it actually, if we put it on top, and if you take a look here, we have it flush on the edges and we have it as flush as we can. Actually, these rounds stick out a little bit farther. As you can see, we have all this extra space over here that's currently being used. That's not even including the extra 2 ounces that we didn't include in this pile to make it even. So, and as you can see, they're both roughly around the same size. There's a little bit of wobble there, but not much, maybe another ounce between all 6. A ton of extra space being used. That is one of the positives of big silver bars like 100 ounce bars and even 10 ounce bars that are like nice uniform rectangles and kilogram bars, is because there's not all this extra space that's being taken up between the rounds. You can actually store these with less room. So if you have a very limited amount of room to store your silver, sometimes getting the big bars does help. But that's really about where it ends for positives outside of aesthetics. Now, what I say by aesthetics is, personally, I really like kilo silver bars because they feel good in the hand. It's a nice, big, solid hunk of metal, and I love that feeling. Another thing I should mention is that you probably can, and in fact, I know that you can, buy kilo silver bars like this one here for a little bit cheaper per ounce than you can, say, your generic 1 ounce silver rounds. But that's about where it ends. All the other positives, as always lie into the smaller amount of silver. Let's explain why. So first, let's say you need to sell some silver because you need something for an emergency. Let's say you need a couple $100. Having to sell an entire kilo of silver just to get $100, and then you have to turn around and buy the rest of it back if you want to leave the remaining in silver, unless you have a dealer or a person that you met, that's willing to work with you and do a direct swap. Usually a dealer is, you're not going to be able to walk into a dealer and say, hey, can I give you this kilogram silver bar and you'll give me 32 1 ounce rounds? I guarantee you they're going to tell you no, or they're going to charge you like a surcharge, like an extra $1 or $2 an ounce to do the exchange, because they would also rather have these. I bet you these, they would much rather have 1,000 of these than they would, 1,000 ounces of kilogram silver bars. These would be a lot easier to sell because not everyone's going to come in and want to buy 32 ounces of silver at once as well. Someone may just want 5. And so if they have a bunch of these and not a whole lot of these, that's not helping them out. So it's going to be a lot easier to sell some of these in an emergency for closer to what you need for that emergency. But the other big reason is that, let's be honest, it's a lot easier to test these than it is these. What do I mean by that? Well, silver, as we all know, makes a certain sound. In fact, I showed off this pocket pinger on the channel a couple of months ago, back in July, I believe, from Salmon Metals. And if you guys don't have one of these yet, there's a video linked down below. You can check it out if you want to learn more about it. But you can actually use this to easily test with a phone app or just with your ears if you're very experienced. You can hear that ring. That doesn't work with these. Now, one of the ways you can test these if you're just going to be looking for the sound is you can put them in like a Walmart bag. You can hang them, let them free hang, and then you can whack them with something to get that sound to come out. But still, because it's so big, it might be a little bit hard. In fact, it will be a lot harder to hear the difference if there's like the center of this is filled with anything. And that gets even worse when you get up to the 100-ounce bar and bigger, because that's a lot of variations that you're not going to be used to. So it's very, very easy and cheap to test these. It's not so easy and cheap to test these. Of course, you could do the specific gravity test, but it becomes a lot harder with kilos and with 100-ounce bars. So you may need something super expensive like a Precious Metals Verifier Pro, or even an XRF gun, or you're going to have to take it into a shop that knows what they're doing, knows what they're looking for, or maybe that has a way to test these. There may be even, who knows, there may even be some shops that just don't accept them because they have to drill them to verify if they don't have those machines. So that is a huge, huge negative to these bars over just stacking silver rounds. So that's the two main negatives. There's a few others, which I'm sure you guys can probably think of on your own, just kind of looking at it, that I don't really need to get into here. But those are the two biggest negatives to stacking these silver bars. And that definitely outweighs the positive. And from someone like myself that really likes these, I hate that because, you know, I would like to have more of these and less of stuff like this. But at the same time, I also recognize that having a bunch of these doesn't do you a whole lot. It's actually better to have stuff like this. So, like I said, we're probably going to call a couple of coin shops. So I think that's what we're going to do now. And what we're going to ask the coin shops is A, do they buy kilo bars? And B, what they pay for them. And if they pay less, because they might even pay less per ounce for these than they do for these. So I want to see what those numbers are. I also will ask them, hey, could I just swap out a kilo for 32 silver rounds, and see what they say about that as well. So let's do it, guys. Let's get on the phone and make a couple of calls and see what they have to say. All right, so we have our first coin shop queued up. We're just going to do two since we don't want this video to be too long, but let's just get an idea. Let's get the first coin shop up and see what they have to say. Hi, do you guys buy kilogram silver bars?
Yes, we do.
What do you pay for those today?
1 second, okay?
Okay.
It's $23 an ounce.
Okay, so that's what, about $1 back a spot?
Yeah, roughly.
Okay. So I got a question. Do you pay more for like generic silver rounds than you would like the kilo silver bars?
It depends on what type of round you have. One we can resell, like a generic Buffalo round.
Right.
Yeah, we pay more per ounce than we do for kilos, yes.
Gotcha. Okay, how much more? I'm just curious because I'm deciding what I want to do.
It might be closer to spot.
Closer to spot for...
As opposed to, yeah.
Okay. All right, cool. So, like, let's just say, if you don't mind me asking, if I wanted to trade you a kilo bar for 32 1-ounce rounds, how much more would I have to give you? Roughly. You don't have to go look it up. I'm just curious.
I have to go to the computer to look it up. So 1 second.
I'm sorry.
We're paying $25 for the rounds.
Oh, that's overspot.
And if you wanted to buy them, we're selling them for $27.55.
I gotcha. And then you'd buy the kilo for 23. So I'd basically have to pay about $4 and change per ounce more. Okay. All right, that answers my question. Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
All right, bye.
Bye-bye.
Okay, so as you can see by the first shop, he told us he was paying around $25 an ounce for silver rounds, but only $23 an ounce for kilos. So they were selling for $27, I think he said $27.50. So we would have to pay around $4, if I'm doing the math right in my head, we'd have to pay around $4.50 per ounce to exchange a kilo silver bar, like this one right here, for 32 1-ounce rounds. Wow. But that's only one shop. Let's call one more and see what they have to say. Hi, I have a couple of questions I'm hoping you can answer, but if you're too busy, I don't want to bug you.
Oh, no, we're good.
Awesome.
What can we do for you?
So, I have a kilogram silver bar. What do you guys buy that? Is that something you buy?
Kilo silver bar. Just one of them?
Yeah.
Sure, give me just a sec, okay?
All right.
You there?
Yeah, I'm here.
Yeah, we're a buyer. It'd be $7.71.
How much is that per ounce, if you don't mind? Roughly.
$24.17 roughly.
Oh, okay, so it's spot. Now, do you pay more for like, I don't have any, but do you pay more for like generic silver rounds than you would like a kilo?
Pretty similar.
Pretty similar. Okay, cool.
So rounds are typically 50 cents over spot.
Okay. So my last question is, I'm trying to get some information. Like, let's say, I know I would have to pay you a difference, but let's say I wanted to take my kilo bar and just convert it into 32 1-ounce rounds. What would I have to pay like a shop like yours to do that?
So it would be spot plus $4.
Okay, so I'd pay spot. So I would pay you
Plus-
$4 per ounce basically for the exchange, is what you're saying?
Yes.
Okay, cool. That's all I needed to know. I really appreciate
All
your
right.
info. Thank you.
No problem. Anytime.
All right, bye-bye.
Thank you. Bye.
Okay, so our second shop actually said that they pay more than the first shop did for kilo silver bars. They actually pay you nearly spot, whereas the first shop that we called was actually paying a little over $1 back. But they did pay 50 cents more per ounce for the generic silver rounds. And then when I asked him how much he would charge me to exchange this kilo bar in for 32 1-ounce rounds, remember when I said that if you ever needed to sell just 10 of these for an emergency, you wouldn't be able to just swap this for 32 of these and then sell 10 of them? As you can see, he would have charged us just around the same as the other shop, $4 per ounce. So basically, to take one of these into a shop and convert it into 1-ounce rounds, we would have to pay a difference of $128. And so that's a pretty glaring negative to stacking kilo silver bars. My suggestion for you would be, if you were to, and of course this is just my opinion, if you were to choose to stack kilo silver bars, only do so when you have plenty of this ready to go. So let's say you have already 100 or 200 ounces even of silver rounds ready to go, then there's not a big deal picking up a kilo bar or two, because if you needed to sell more than 32 ounces, you could just sell this. Whereas if you only needed to sell 10 ounces, well, you just grab 10 of your 1-ounce rounds. You know what I'm saying? So that is what we had for you today, guys, as far as the good, the bad, and I guess the ugly of kilo silver bars when it comes to converting them to silver rounds. I hope you enjoyed the video, and I hope you learned a little bit. If you did, do me a favor. Don't forget to go down below, like I said earlier. Make sure you're subscribed. Don't forget to hit that like button. It really helps us out. And we'll see you next time. Hey guys, thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed the video. I did leave a video above. You can check out if you haven't seen it yet. I also want to give a huge shout out and a huge thank you to my awesome channel supporters scrolling right there on the right hand of the screen. Thank you so much for watching, and we will see you in the next one.